Hey YouTube. Anybody out there? Probably, I think it's just me still. Exciting news today. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Years of stubborn belly fat?
There's my ad playing. Um, we got a thumbs up. I see that. That definitely wasn't me. But anyways, this is Zach with Savage Traveling. If anybody's out there, I'm gonna start anyways because you know, people will watch this at a certain point. Hopefully, is the plan. There you can see my awesome art in the back and my turtle picture because apparently I like turtles. But I really wanted to do a celebration stream because I haven't done one yet, and I made it to 1,000 subs like back in January, but I didn't, I haven't done a whole lot with the channel since I made that happen, other than a few things that I've done while I've sat around home and then back and forth between Nashville, Tennessee, and which, it does all right, but that's not stuff I'd rather be doing other things. This light is bugging the heck out of me. So I'm watching the chat if anybody's out there that wants to tell me if they can hear me all right, because when I was doing tests earlier, the sound wasn't all that great. So, because my internet runs at like 3 Mbps's. Nice, nice. It's actually a painting, like funny story is like I won that in a raffle, and I'm pretty sure I was the only guy in the raffle at this music festival. Like this, this like forlorn hippie was walking around with it, asking for money for donations to his raffle, and literally, I'm pretty sure I was the only one that gave him money for his stuff. But he came back and gave me the painting like at the end of the weekend. But he might have had a few dollars from other people, but I wasn't convinced. It's pretty trippy nonetheless. But what I was going to talk about is I did reach 1,000 subs, and then in January, and then here for like the last 6 months, I've been doing stuff like not traveling internationally, unfortunately, because I have a lot of family things going on. So I've been stuck at home and doing things back and forth between here domestically. But I actually crossed the $100 mark here today on YouTube revenue, so I thought that was a good enough reason to do a live stream and to talk about like Thailand. And they just announced some stuff today that where they're looking at using Koh Samui. Well, they're not like Samui brainstorms tourist entry plan. This just came up on the Bangkok Post just a few minutes ago, actually. Like Richard Barrow from Thailand on Facebook shared it. And it says the president of the Tourism Association of Koh Samui will meet a subcommittee of the Center for COVID Situation Administration, the CCSA, to brainstorm guidelines to allow foreign tourists to visit Samui. Mr. Warasit will represent tourist entrepreneurs on Koh Samui and Surat Thani at the meeting with the CCSA on Wednesday. He spoke at a recent forum between business operators on the resort island and the Immigration Bureau about new standard operating procedures during the COVID-19 era. Mr. Warasit said tourism entrepreneurs are ready to welcome back foreign tourists, though none have yet to arrive. However, foreign tourists will be required to be quarantined at a hotel for 14 days before they can go outside if found to be unaffected. Eligible foreign tourists must travel to Thailand with Thai Airways International and undergo swab testing once they arrive at Suvarnabhumi Airport. They can take a flight to Samui without going through an immigration process, which is kind of cool. You just straight to Samui. So it'd be immigration on Samui. After arrival, the tourist will have to undertake swab testing again before entering a quarantine facility. He said if the tourist tests negative for 7 days, then they can leave their room, but not the hotel. After 14 days, they will be allowed to travel outside with a special wristband, said Mr. Warasit. So how long before you can leave Samui and go into Thailand is what I'm wondering. Because once you're on Samui for 14 days, or however long till you're good, should you be will they let you into the rest of the country? So hopefully like some of this stuff comes to fruition because I know Phuket wants to do it. Well, Samui obviously, and a few other islands. I don't remember right off the top of my head because an article came out a few days ago talking about 5 or 6 different islands that wanted to be involved in a scheme like this. It sounds horrible, honestly, to be stuck in a to pay to be stuck in a hotel 7 to 14 days, and then if you test positive after 7 days, you can be in the hotel. That's kind of crazy. I mean, how bad do you want to be in Thailand, though? There's a lot of people out there that want to be in Thailand pretty bad. You know what I mean? Samui today has no tourists, Thai or foreign, and all types of entrepreneurs are still seriously affected by the virus despite the government's measures to help tourists pay for their hotel rooms, says Ms. Pimporn. At the same time, local entrepreneurs will have to rely on the only airline that provides direct flights to Samui. That was the first one. I needed to wet my whistle. The Samui Airport's flight monopoly makes fares expensive even during this period when the government is promoting domestic tourism, said Ms. Penporn. She called on the government to help with this matter, saying expensive air tickets prevent tourists from visiting the island, although hotels are open. One of our hopes is the construction of a 17-kilometer bridge to connect the mainland to Kanam district, Nakhon Thammarat, to Samui Island. They want to make a bridge from Samui to the mainland. And I've heard about this before. I just didn't know how far along that they want this done. I think it'll ruin the place, but I don't live there, you know what I mean? I think it's a crazy idea, but hotels with combined rooms of 40,000 are pinning their hopes on the bridge. Now we, the local businesses and people, are raising a petition the province to build the bridge, she said. Commissioner of the Immigration Bureau said the standard operating procedures must be implemented by immigration officers, hotels, entertainment venues, and restaurants to prevent COVID-19 from spreading in the country again. Of course, immigration officers must wear a face mask or face shield. And okay, this is just going into other news, I guess. But this was in the Bangkok Post today. Actually, I'll share it in the comments right now. I'm not looking at comments, so whatever. Don't be rude. But that came out today in the Bangkok Post. The 16th of August. 04 a.m. Bangkok time. That was posted on the Bangkok Post website. So, and then a few days ago, an article about Phuket came up about wanting to, bring tourists to the island, secure them on the island for X amount of time, swab the crap out of them to, see if they're good or not, and then like hold them hostage on the island for however long until they'll let them into the, the rest of the country. Which they don't speak about that in any of the articles, because they don't know. Like I said, it's all speculation at this point. It's cool to see that they're talking about letting tourists in, because if you look on Facebook, or I assume Twitter too, there's people saying that they're not going to let tourists until 2022, which it's like, that's kind of absurd to even say something like that, because the country's not saying that. Now, there is one article I saw today it's not an article. It came from the website, The Tiger, on Facebook, Thaiger, and they have some quotes from a tourism guy. The tourism sector, okay. The Thailand, okay. Whilst the ministers and various industry leaders bemoan the tourism situation from the comfort of their plush offices and regular incomes, segments of Thailand's tourism industry simply will not be able to wait it out until the end of the year. And most people agree with that. They're going to need some stimuli, probably. I would assume so. In quotations, the tourism sector must prepare for the worst, as Thailand may not be open its borders to tourists this year, according to the Tourism Council of Thailand. The TCT president, I'm not going to butcher his name, says, "We can't lie to ourselves. We have to accept there's no chance for operators to grab the international market this year, and there are doubts about next year as well." I mean, I don't know when he said this, but this was posted yesterday on the Tiger's Facebook page. The TCD predicts that layoffs will continue to rise because the vast majority of workers are not receiving compensation from the SFF's to cushion the impact, and they don't want to risk reopening while local travel demand remains tepid because most locals aren't traveling, is what a lot of the media that's coming that I'm reading says from Thailand. So so anybody in tourism, they're all the tourism's suffering regardless of domestic tourism. I guess is what they're saying. But hopefully this guy's wrong about they're not going to do anything this year. Now I could understand if they do wait till after the first of the year, or if they only let select, like, what do they call them, high class tourists in or whatever. What what they see as the good tourists. I don't know. The stuff that comes on this English Thai Facebook stuff is hard to decipher sometimes. So it's what it is. Take it for what it's worth. Um, Beyond Thailand, yeah, I mean, I would hope to get in before the new year. If I can get in before the new year, I'm gonna try. Unless it's like ridiculously expensive. And see, I could understand them uh, quarantining you to an island for the 2 weeks, but I don't see a lot of people unless they have family there. See, I see how they're gonna do this. They're gonna try to get the guys who really want to come back that have family or girlfriends or children there. That's not like official. So they'll get guys to do this and pay for their quarantine for the 2 weeks, and then you'll be stuck in a hotel for 2 weeks. And for some, it'll be worth it. For guys like me, I don't know if that would be worth it to me to get there. If you can leave the island after you test positive or after you test negative, you know what I mean? That'd be the hinge for me is okay, yeah, that's great. I don't want to be stuck on Samui or Phuket. Now, Phuket, I could see being stuck on a little longer than Samui, but I like to get around. So, maybe they're not wanting the incoming tourists to do that. I mean, I can understand that, obviously, to an extent. But then again, like, people aren't going to come if they don't have a bit of freedom. You know what I mean? Like, you got to give them something other than a 14-day quarantine in a hotel. I mean, I get it though. You want to come, you want to protect your country. You want to let your citizens know why you're in charge. I guess like we're here to save you, and like we're doing the right things. And I get it. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about these guys. I respect everything they do because it's like it's their own country. So what does it matter? I say anyways. I just want to come back soon. I would meant to have left now or very soon if everything was going good. Like, I had prepared to be ready to travel, or right about now, actually. And I thought I was going to be able to, even back in April when COVID first came on. I was sure by now we would be pushing through and like, yes, we made it another day. You know what I mean? And no, no, it's not there yet. Um, what else did I want to say about Thailand? I mean, not other than that. Like I said, I hope to get in back before the new year. Will you? Like I said, if you really want to, I bet people will be. I bet with this high season coming up, I can't see how they're not going to try to get people in. They understand what's at stake for their people. You know what I mean? They just don't want to let what's happening here in the United States go on in their country, because that's why I'm doing live streams from my living room. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. I don't want to be here doing this, but this is what I got right now. It's the cheapest thing I can do. You know what I mean? I want to get out, I want to do things. You know what I mean? So, best thing I can do right now is sit at home and save my money and wait. But okay. Oh, I want to talk about Cambodia, I guess. Because Thailand, you obviously are not getting in right now. I would, actually, let me talk about Bali for a second. I would think Bali will be a big indicator. And now, if Bali's already talking about, has already talked about opening for international tourism September the 11th. But then they've also had people in their government talk about not opening September 11th. They went back a couple times in these little news presses that we do get in English from there. And I imagine what Thailand does will be a lot based on what Bali goes through. Now, if Bali can pull it off and successfully let tourism in without a big media stink and a lot of just bad press, I would assume Thailand would try their best to follow what's going on there. So I'd be watching what Bali does, and then after that, because they're at least talking about it. But and me being as an American, none of this maybe applies anyways, because the lists I've seen of the different countries that are talking about, they'll talk about different ties that they do not need no foreign. I don't know what that means, but I would assume a lot of places don't need foreign tourists, but there's a lot of places that solely rely on foreign tourism, and they can't just leave them to go. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, but there's, other places that do solely rely on foreign tourism that they can't just let starve. Um, Asia, like I got, there's a, let me share this here. It is a website that has they're keeping up with all the different countries' restrictions and whatnot, and I'm just going to go through what they're saying about a few Asian countries and then a few South American countries, because that's other than like Turkey and some Eastern European countries. There's only so like Mexico and Brazil and a few Caribbean islands that Americans can go. So I figured I'd go talk about that stuff because that's my only options. Now, if Thailand doesn't do anything here in the near future, I'm going to start looking for South America this winter. But that's, like I said, we're still in August. What was I going to look up here? All right. Croatia, definitely. I think Ukraine, Belarus, maybe. But I'm going to get to that here in a minute. But these are Asian countries. This list was updated 3 days ago, at least some of it. Cambodia, where you can go to Cambodia as an American. It's still very difficult to enter as a Cambodia, as suspended e-visa and visa on arrival programs until further notice. So what I say, I messed. Cambodia's e-visa and visa on arrival programs are suspended till further notice, and also has suspended tourist-related services as of June 10th. So you probably have to go to your embassy if you want to go to Cambodia. But to get there, you need $2,000 deposit. It's to cover potential expenses related to COVID-19. You need a COVID-19 negative medical certificate issued no more than 72 hours prior to date of travel. Proof of medical insurance coverage of at least 50 grand US. Upon arrival in Cambodia, health authorities require all travelers to undergo a COVID-19 test and to wait to receive the laboratory results. Some travelers have reported waiting 24 hours in stark conditions while test results were processed. So, you're probably sleeping like in a jail cell or something along those lines. Yeah, I know. I have a list of countries that are open too, and I'm reading from it right now. This actually lists the stuff like that I can read from in a great list, sanctioned off by region. But travelers will have to self-isolate 14 days after they test positive at their homes under supervision of local authorities. So you'll be getting checked up on. And this is more of like, I imagine if you had a business or a family there, you'd utilize this route in. I couldn't imagine as just a general tourist, they would even grant you permission, let alone what would you do other than spend your money? I guess, if you wanted to jump through the hoops to get there, they might let you in. Another COVID-19 test will be required on the 13th day of self-isolation. So you're going to take like 3 or 4 tests to get into Cambodia. China, which I've always wanted to visit China other than the Shanghai airport. They do a 144-hour visa thing for Americans where you can transit through China, but you can stop in China and stay for 144 hours. Did I say days? 144 hours. It's like 6 days. And I want to do that someday. So hopefully in the next couple years that's available again, because I'll do it because China's insane. Like, I'll go. Sign me up. I don't want to go and be like live there or be a teacher or nothing, but I want to go and like visit and do some tours and stuff. That'd be awesome. As of August 10th, 2020, China will slowly begin reopening its borders and will now allow entry for select travelers from a list of European countries. Most of this won't apply to Americans anyways, but it's still fun to hear about how they're progressing. Prior to the new announcement, the only foreign nationals allowed to travel China were those for necessary economic, trade, and scientific or technological activities or out of emergent humanitarian needs. Select business travelers are also being permitted entry to some Chinese cities that are coming from South Korea and Singapore. Now the Chinese government is allowing for the following people to apply for a visa to visit China: those who hold valid residence permits, those who hold valid work permits, those who hold permits for family reunion and personal matters. So that's understandable. Travelers may apply for a visa at a Chinese embassy or consulate in the below countries. So I'm not going to go through that. Uh, Indonesia. The governor of Bali has announced that the island could or could not be reopening its borders for international tourism on September 11th, 2020. You'll need a negative COVID test, and there's no other, like, they don't know yet. When they do it, they will let you know. Japan. Since Japan being closed to foreigners since March, Japan is currently in the process of preparing for international reopening plan and have publicized the countries they want to first lift restrictions for. According to the Japanese government, they are planning to first reopen borders to Vietnam. That might have changed recently. Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, South Korea, which I thought was having an outbreak, China, Myanmar, Singapore, Brunei, Laos, and Mongolia. So, I mean, it's progress if you're not stuck in the United States. First, Japan intends to reopen to business travelers, investors, and other essential visitors from the above countries, then allowing in students and finally general tourists. One of these days. Malaysia, as of July 22nd, Malaysia is making exceptions for certain type of tourists to enter the country. Malaysia had their borders closed to international tourism since March, and the current border closure isn't set to expire till August 31st, but there are now a few ways that select tourists can enter. Malaysia is now allowing medical tourists to enter the country as of July 1st. It's a great way to slowly restart a portion of the tourism sector. A few countries can go to Malaysia for medical tourism. It's irrelevant to me, but really. Maldives. Now I know Maldives, I think, is completely opened. Maldives reopened its borders for international tourism on July 15th, 2020, and international flights resumed. Maldives has opened for all countries without restrictions or COVID-19 entry requirements. Yay! There's no testing or quarantine upon arrival in the Maldives. So I don't know what it takes to get to the Maldives, but I'm sure it's not just the easy. I'm sure there's not too many direct flights out of the United States. Yes, I do plan to travel this year, hopefully. I'm not looking at comments, I just busted in. Hopefully you're still there. Yeah, I do plan to travel this year. I'm just waiting to see. If I can't go to Asia before the end of the year, I'm going to go to South America, at least for, I mean, because Mexico and Brazil is open, no COVID test. Uh, Fly in. You can fly in directly from the United States to Mexico. You have to stop somewhere to get to Brazil. Uh, I mean, I know Turkey, and you can fly directly into Turkey and maybe Serbia still, but I don't know if I want to spend the winter in Turkey or Serbia. No, moving on, Nepal will be reopening its borders for international tourism on August 17th as the blanket ban ends and international flights resume. They want to get the trekking season in because like they have like millions, 1.2 million overseas tourists who visit Nepal on an annual basis. So I can understand why you'd want to start letting people in, and like literally they're going to be out in the great wilderness of Nepal trekking. Like they're not the biggest threat, even if they have COVID. You know what I mean? So I'm glad to hear that they're doing that because I did wonder about them a few times since this has all been going on. One of those, like, definitely, like, I don't usually call stuff a bucket list, but Nepal is definitely a bucket list because I think I can make it to a lot of places without having to be on the bucket list. But Nepal was definitely, if I had to do a bucket list, Nepal's on it. Sri Lanka has decided to delay reopening the country to foreigners for at least 2 weeks until the middle of August. So I don't know what's going on there now because it's the exact middle of August. So originally Sri Lanka officially set a reopening date of August 1st, but they pushed it back apparently. Yeah, I've noticed that most places ask for a PRC or PCR test. I I was going through another list on a video of mine, and all of them were actually it was a list from this website, the Travel Off Path, but a lot of them were. I think it was all the places that Americans can go in like the Caribbean. It was they all wanted PCR tests, and like I said, I don't even know where you can get one around me. I know they can do antibody tests. If that isn't the same thing, I don't know. My buddy got an antibody test a while back, and it took him like 3 weeks to get in, and he was negative. Like it didn't, he didn't have it. So this has Thailand on it. It just says travelers allowed businessmen, skilled workers, those with Thai family, those seeking Thai health services, and no elite visas, from what I understand. Like I thought they were letting elite visas in, but I guess they're not, which would be a bummer if you've paid all that money for that elite visa. I thought they'd been letting them in by now, but it's not their home. Uzbekistan officially reopened for tourism on June 15th. Uzbekistan is committed to reviving tourism that it guarantees safe travel and will compensate tourists $3,000 if they catch COVID-19. I think somebody was talking about that in the comments somewhere else, maybe. Or Eva Air. I just missed it. Well, I got my phone going on here and I'm on my computer here. Excuse me. And so I'm only seeing the comments out of the corner of my eye when I'm reading. Oh, you have a $1,500 for Eva Air since premium economy trip to Bangkok was canceled in March. They are working on elite visas. I've considered getting one, but they said they will still have to do 14-day quarantine. Man, if I had one and if I had an elite visa and I wanted to get into Thailand right now, I would do the quarantine. Like I said, if I was going for any other reason but tourism, I'd be all right with the quarantine. I mean, the only way I'd go for tourism would be like an island quarantine where like, okay, here you're on Samui or Phuket for the 2 weeks, but not like an actual like bedroom lockdown quarantine. Like I'm not gonna pay for that. I'll go to South America. Like so, hopefully. But like I said, I've been to Thailand 3 or 4 times. It's probably time I go to South America. So maybe who knows? Like I said, I would rather go to Thailand. Like that's just me. I prefer, but I've never been down to South America, so who knows? Yeah, I'm curious to see how it works out for Richard Barrow myself. I just found him on Facebook like a month or two back. I didn't know of the guy for just till here recently. And because he's his reporting or his not his, what do you want to call? I don't know if you call it reporting. Just his what he does. It seems pretty solid. He tries to cover his ass. You know what I'm saying? So I'll pick through it. I'll definitely read through it. But with anything that comes out of Thailand, and if I read Thai, it'd be different. You could read the Thai news and see what was going on, but that's a long ways off for me. Uzbekistan wants you. They definitely categorize you into 3 different categories, different quarantine levels. I don't know. I probably won't be making it to Uzbekistan, but that's what they have in Asia on that list there. I talked about Bali. Like I said, they're going back and forth. They don't know what they want to do. Like I said, they don't want to unleash the COVID. But I thought I thought they had a pretty decent amount of COVID, but maybe not on Bali, because that's one of those things. You could go to Bali, but how long before they let you into Indonesia as a whole? Or I'd go do that too. I don't want to be stuck on Bali for more than 2 weeks. I don't think. I've never been, but I mean, hey, has any of you guys been on Bali? Is it Thai government not fond of criticism? Well, that's great. I know that, but it's not criticism. It's what's going on. You know what I mean? You can call it criticism all you want, but when it's just what's going on, it's what it is. And I could understand if you were in Thailand, you watch what you say. Mexico. See, that's why I say Mexico's been open for a while. Mexico officially began reopening its vacation destinations for tourism as of June 8th. So basically anywhere that flies to Mexico in the world, I think people are coming to Mexico. I did read an article yesterday or the day before that a lot of the resorts down there are full up. Like, oh, I see. Yeah, I kind of thought he did. said they gave him a visit. Like I said, if I'm ever like full time Thailand in the future, like towards retirement or before, that'd be even great. I don't even know if I would do YouTube. I'd probably just chill and relax. Like or do like No Time to Be Sad does. I don't know if you watch him, Chuck. I don't know his last name. His name's Chuck and Paige, his wife, Thai wife, and they live up by Lao in Thailand. But he just does like family stuff. He just be in his kitchen doing vlogging, and like I love watching it. It's almost so good that it's hard to watch right now because you can't like buy a ticket. But I do watch that guy a lot. No Time to Be Sad, Chuck, and I would probably do vlogs like that. If it was still like a way to make a few dollars on the side. Obviously you're not going to get rich doing it these days. It's really hard to, because I don't. It took me 6 months to make $100. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I wouldn't be doing like that. What Richard does, for sure. The resort destinations. I'm back in Mexico, guys. But I do think Thailand will accept tourists this year. So if anybody still wonders what I think about that. The resort destinations of Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Puerto Vallarta, Los Cabos, Tulum, Oaxaca, Mazatlan, I messed that one up, and have all opened their hotels and beaches since June. So that's June, July, it's halfway through August. Mexico is among the few select nations that have very few health protocols for entry. Quarantines, there are currently no quarantine periods for travelers entering Mexico. Drew Binsky, he's in Mexico. He's a vlogger. He does pretty popular videos. He only has 6 countries left in the whole world to visit, which is kind of wild to think about, I'm sure. What do you do after that? PCR tests and rapid COVID-19 tests. Mexico does not require a test before or after arriving. Travelers should have valid travel insurance, but you should have that anytime. I don't think it's required. I don't think anybody's checking. You just fly into Mexico. So, like I said, that's my thing. If Thailand doesn't decide to let tourists in, or if they do and it's too hard for me to get in, I would love to go to Mexico for a couple weeks, do a few cities, and then fly down to Brazil and like see Sao Paulo, Rio, and then I want to visit like the southernmost state of Brazil where all the white people are, because like that's intriguing. That intrigues me to no limit. Like it's like there's a lot of German, and then I think Italians down there, but definitely a lot of Germans and maybe Austrians that fled during World War II. I'm sure it'd be good video too. I'm sure it'd be awesome video. I mean, it wouldn't be like nightlife beach video, Brazil, but it'd be pretty cool. I haven't looked any of it up yet. I need to start looking it up on YouTube and see what's out there about it, because I don't even remember the name of it. That'll be another video. All countries are allowed to visit Mexico, guys. So if like Thailand doesn't open up, and it's not like $500,000 to fly to Mexico, maybe do that, or Brazil, because Brazil's pretty. I don't know what you call it. It's kind of free. Like the personal freedoms are there. Not people would say that's. I've talked to Cheap Charlie about going to Brazil. We messaged a little bit back and forth. It all depends on timing for me. Like I got a lot of stuff going on here at home still where I can't just leave right now. But in October I might be able to. So like I said, anything's on the table right now. I'm even willing to go down to Brazil for a month or two, and then come back home and do what I have to do at home, and then hopefully towards the new year or afterwards, Thailand wants to do what they want, open up more to tourism. Maybe the vaccines are effective and can get people where they feel safe about opening their countries up. Maybe I don't know, because my plan was to go to Thailand for like 6 months, literally, like to leave right now or within the next 2 months, to leave within the next 60 days. From a year ago. Like I had planned on this since I got back, which I've almost been back 11 months to the day since I was left internationally last, which is insane to think about. This year's gone so fast. And I've been saving this whole time to go, like anytime, to go do vlogs and try to get this YouTube channel up where it makes at least a few dollars to afford a plane ticket or two. I mean, that's all I want. I don't expect to get to even like profit. I just want it to make back a few dollars, and it could happen on the next trip. You know, it could happen on a video I do from here, but that's harder than it sounds for me, anyways. But I plan to go and just, travel around all of Southeast Asia. I wanted to do another Vietnam motorbike trip where I, started in Ho Chi Minh, went and saw the Mekong River Delta, which I didn't do last time, and then maybe even motorbike through Cambodia, which I only did a week in Cambodia last year. 7-8 days split up between Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, and it wore me out. I don't know if you've seen any of my videos about it, but I can watch them and tell that it was just, it was a lot to deal with the first time, and I'm glad I did it for sure. I wish I would have stayed a little longer, but next time, I want to explore even. Oh shit, I want to explore even. I want to explore Cambodia more on a motorbike because I rented a mountain bike, and I mountain biked around Siem Reap and got out into the what it's like the shanty town part of town, I guess. I can't think of a better word right now, but and I bought cigarettes off kids because I was smoking cigarettes last Asia trip because it's just hard not to sometimes, and I was out there. I stopped at a little roadside shop and I bought cigarettes off kids, bought a bottle of water, stopped there and just talked to them and tried to drink my water because I was on a mountain bike. And I just rode around out there and smiled and waved to people and tried to be cool. But I'd love to do more of that, which I did a lot of that in Vietnam on a motorbike. Fuck. Surely it wasn't 2018 now, but it probably was. But I want to go back and do all that again. I want to spend like 60 days in Vietnam next time, or 60 days on a motorbike at least, from the south all the way up to the Chinese border, and just immerse. You know what I'm saying? Totally immerse myself in that, and just eat, ride motorbike, and so if that takes wait until February, March next year, I hope it doesn't take that long. Oh my gosh. Because Vietnam, they went 99 days without community transmission, then all of a sudden they having outbreaks everywhere, which is kind of, you could. No, I haven't been to the Philippines. No, it's all like I said. It's on the list. I probably should, but it was going to be one of those things. And this next trip, I was going to go for at least 6 months. I was ready for 6 months of travel in Southeast Asia. Plus the YouTube's monetized now, so I'm as soon as I can go, I'm ready to go, and I'll be going to everywhere I can afford. And hopefully, as I make more videos, once the trip starts, I can get some kind of avalanche going, or where I start making actual money with the YouTube, and hopefully before I run out of travel money, I can be making money with my channel, which it's monetized obviously, and then I can just save that money I'm making and just travel for as a few. I'm not like. I don't know who's traveling. Like Gabriel Traveler travels, has been traveling pretty much perpetually, at least it seems from YouTube, for a long time now. He's come back to the United States for a long time, here and there a few times, but he's just been traveling perpetually for a while, and it's like, holy cow, dude. I kind of want to try that. I don't have to if I don't reach that success, so be it, because I only started doing YouTube to save my travel. So when I'm like 50 or 60 years old, I can sit there and watch it and drink a beer and laugh about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my plan anyways. So if it takes me doing a couple months in Brazil or Mexico this winter to fill the time until Thailand decides they want money again, then I will go to Brazil or South America and learn about that. I don't know a lick of Portuguese. I know more Thai than I know Portuguese, but I do know a bit of Spanish. I mean, not a whole lot, but I don't think it would take me long to learn enough Spanish to get around. Bali has ghosts and demons. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Like, that's the kind of stuff I'm into. So, like, cool. Good. Like I'm into that voodoo stuff. Like I wanna learn everything I can about stuff like that. Like that stuff's real. Like you got to listen to these native people. Like they're not screwing around. You know what I mean? Like you got to take everything in life with a grain of salt, but you also have to like learn when you can about stuff that you're not going to learn any other place in the world. You know what I mean? Like when you have a chance to soak up some actual culture, to turn and run because it's ghosts and demons was it's not how I do things. you know, uh, hopefully, like I said, I especially if they decided to open. Yeah, I mean that I thought maybe Bali was the ticket into Southeast Asia this winter. Is if they do open in September, um, Bang Seen Thailand. Okay, Gardens and Bang. I've heard of that, so I'm gonna try to keep that in the Rolodex up here because there's so many cool places in Thailand. But I was thinking Bali might be the gateway in this winter. Is if they do open in September, get on Bali, pass a bunch of COVID tests, stay on Bali for 2-3 weeks. Hopefully not a whole lot longer, and then maybe by chance Thailand has formed a program on one of the islands to get people in, or Cambodia has laxed to a little less of a deposit to get in, or Vietnam is like screw it, we have COVID, get in here, which I don't see that happening, but you never know. Like I said, if one place opens up and they can manage it, other places will follow. So I would rather do that because I wasn't prepared to go to South America this year, but because I'd really been set and like I'd been saving money for the year to go back to Asia because like I said I want to ride motorbike across Vietnam and Cambodia, and if you can get it, I think you can do it in Laos too. Like you can do it in Thailand too. I guess you can do it. I don't know about Myanmar, but now you might have to fly to each country or get into each country. You may not be able to cross the border with your bike. Sorry, I know you can't cross into into Thailand from like Cambodia on a bike. You have to like. I know there's certain things you can't do, and now I know you can go from Vietnam to Cambodia on the same bike, and maybe you can do that from Cambodia to Laos or Vietnam to Laos. I don't know, just because all the licenses and everything, like they have their own rules. But I'm not sure that I want to take off and do a motorbike trip across South America by myself. I would do it in Vietnam because I've done it by myself. I've done it from I didn't go across the whole place. I stopped after 3 weeks in Da Nang. I made it halfway in 3 weeks because I was having beers like every day, and I just didn't get very far. And I'd do that again by myself, or I'd take a friend. But South America, man, I'd have to learn a lot of Portuguese before I took a motorcycle across Brazil, and I just don't know if I'm capable to do that in the time that I have right now. It'd be better, it'd be better even with a partner that didn't even speak Portuguese. Even if they spoke a couple words, it'd be better than going by myself. And I don't have anybody who's like, let's go motorcycle across Brazil, bro. And because I'd do that, like that's my shit. It's just it sounds a lot more expensive. Too much robbing in South America. That's what I'm saying. That's like I don't think I'm up for that. Like I really don't. It's not. That's why I was. I'm waiting for. Or Taiwan. Taiwan's beautiful to motorbike around. I guess I've watched this guy Prozzy. I learned from him through like Serpent ZA and Sea Milk and what are they called? ADV China. Those guys. Their buddy that used to be in China, but he's in Taiwan now, Prozzy. They make videos riding around Taiwan and that looks beautiful. Now I want to do that too, but like I said, it's a little more expensive to go to Taiwan. And for me as an American, I think I could stay like 90 days, like fly right in, normal times. You know what I'm saying? Not COVID, obviously. COVID, they're not on any of these lists about talking about opening up. Taiwan isn't. So, I'm just waiting for something like that to open up. I would love to motorbike stuff. I went and even got my motorcycle license here in the United States, like just a while back, so I could be legal in some countries under my international driver's permit. Guatemala and Colombia. I want to go to Colombia. I never considered motorbiking Colombia, but I definitely would like to go there. And it was on the list. Like it was literally on the list for. It was all on the list. I had a whole list of things to do this year with COVID and next year. So everything's got pushed back. It's just given me a chance to save more money here. So excuse me. When I do go, it's going to be for a while. As long as I can. With family and stuff, because I'm not just like running for good. Not yet, anyways. I still have stuff here to do, unfortunately. Uh, COVID. It has me sitting here talking to a camera on fucking Saturday night by myself. Which we haven't been locked down where I'm at for a long time, and we weren't really ever locked down here. I mean, as you can probably tell from the news, the whole United States has it. I mean, it's everywhere, so that's why I am staying in. Like, there's stuff to do. There's music festivals going on. There's no limit to the barbecues and cookouts that are going on locally and just throughout the whole country right now. And there was just Sturgis out in South Dakota. There was like 250,000 bikers showed up. Probably, more, honestly. Just fuck COVID, you know what I mean? Prasak now cut phenomenon is the best temple to visit in Siam. It's crazy, though. U.S. You can't travel between U.S. and Mexico between land. You can fly in, though. Yeah, that's about it, Just waiting for travel to open up in hopefully Southeast Asia. Like I said, I'm not opposed to setting on Bali for a couple weeks. I'm not opposed to setting in any other place for a couple weeks. I work in car damage business like you, but for the other side. What do you mean the other side? Like the insurance side? I don't understand. Or do you like work for a shop? I don't know how far we're lagging. You were okay. Now you might be able to walk across. I don't know. Insurance adjuster. Okay. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I haven't bought a car. Man, I want to buy another car, but for me to buy a car from the insurance auction, it cost me $250 just to go and look at them in person. And you can't really, well, I won't buy them without going to look at them in person because that's dangerous. See, like they can run and drive, and they'll like the engine. I've seen them where they run and drive, and the engine is like just hanging on, like it's not even attached anymore. So I don't know if I'm going to buy any. I might. It depends on travel. Like I was hoping I could travel this fall, so I didn't want to get into having a car or two in my garage, and I have a bunch of money wrapped up in cars, like all my travel money wrapped up in cars, trying to make money, obviously. So I just figured if I could sit at home, not spend any money, because I got all my bills paid and everything. So I was just going to wait here and wait for travel to open. I mean, that was the plan, is just to dig in and wait. And I might be waiting a lot longer. So I thought about getting another car, though. The best you will get in Sao Paulo is 7-Eleven. Like food? Like the best cuisine is in 7-Eleven? I wondered about the food. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's what you really mean, but I know when I go to like Europe or like Amsterdam, or the couple times I've been there, like when I go there all the time. It's not like the couple times I've been to Amsterdam, I like there's Argentinian grill or whatever. I don't know, Argentine grill or whatever, and it's just steak, like steak and potatoes, which is the best food ever. I mean, not many people can argue with that. Well, a lot of people probably would, but I was hoping it was like that, like skewered meat everywhere. That's, pretty much every place I've been, other than like, well, not Western Europe, you don't get meat on a stick, I guess. But I didn't know. I didn't know how the cuisine was in Brazil. When I was watching Mark Wien's videos of Brazil the other day, it looked pretty good. There's a McDonald's in Redation close to there's the McDonald's. Cheap, good food. Cheap, yeah. Medellin sounds awesome. I want it like, man. I have so many credit card miles that I was looking. I had 2 round trip tickets. I could buy 2 round trip tickets to Colombia for like next year right now. I mean, I don't know have anybody to take or anything like that, but I was just looking to see what I was able to get with my miles I have saved up, and like with the prices of flights right now, like prices to Colombia out of Chicago are like dirt cheap, but they're for like next year, and you just gotta hope that everything doesn't get worse, or like this gets to a level where it's like, hopefully not, hopefully. because I think Colombia is on lockdown right now, actually. Oh, that's a good deal. 250 round trip from, yeah, that's a really good deal. Yeah, that's an awesome deal. Like I said, I haven't really looked, like I don't research it down there like I do Thailand and Asia. Like I said, I know Asia's like how to get to Asia and how to get to there cheaply in the way the best routes, and like I wanted to stay in Japan the next time. Next time I was going to like schedule because you can schedule layovers for like 36 or 38 hours in Tokyo, and I was going to do that because I've been stuck in Tokyo one time for 24 hours in a hotel room, and I had shorts and t-shirts, and I couldn't go out and uh, I can't go out and explore. I couldn't go out and explore because it was like sleeting. And what's up with the Dominican? Oh yeah, I heard that you could get into the Dominican. I did hear that. Uh, I just heard that like I said you had to, so that's cool if you can get in. I don't. That looks crazy too. The Dominican, like I said, it's. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I would choose that over a bunch of other things. I've never been though. Excuse me. I watched a lot of Cheap Charlie's videos from there last year, or whenever it was, and I just have to pick up on my Spanish real quick before I felt comfortable doing stuff like that. Oh yeah, I do. I've looked. I do. I used to get Scott's cheap flights, and like I said, I had a subscription for a year one time before they raised it up to like $50 or whatever. But there's a new one out which I haven't subscribed to them yet. It's called Next Vacay, Next Vacay VA. Let me look it up. I'm gonna post it in the comments because they're advertising some sweet deals, and it's a subscription service like Scott's Cheap Flights. But right now you get a free month, and this is not an affiliate link. It is not. So, but you get a free month, and then after that, it's only like 25 bucks for the year, and like they're always posting like amazing deals round trip to all the cool places that I want to go. And as soon as it looks like we're able to travel again, like legitimately like be able to like just book a flight, I'm going to subscribe to them and use them because it like I've been seeing them their ads for like the last year in my stuff, and now the guy's getting real serious about pushing his advertising. So he must be getting hoping it's going to start traveling more soon. But it's worth a look, especially since it's got a free month. And I don't think you might have to put your credit card in. I don't know, but because I do affiliates for Scotch Cheap Flights down in my descriptions. And that's an affiliate link in my thing. And if you sign up for their free trial, you have to put your credit card in. But I get $5. Nobody's done it yet. I'm hoping when like I said, when I get back out on the road, some of these affiliates start doing good because I've had good luck with Airbnb affiliates. I've got like $150 in free Airbnb stays with their affiliate link. So I'm a big fan of that stuff. If I can get even a free night means the world. You know what I mean? Like that stuff. That's what like if I could like I'm happy with little things here and there. What was I talking about? Oh, I went round trip Barcelona for 475 last year. That's a really good deal too. Barcelona's nice. I liked it there. I've been there 4 or 5 nights, I think. One time I took a bus from maybe like Rome. I don't even remember. It was cool though. They have really good ganja there. It was really good. It was so crazy because like you had to go find what I don't know what they were called, like bodegas or little head shops. I don't know, but they were like speakeasies. You'd have to like find it. A guy would meet you out on La Rambla or La Ramblas or whatever, and like you'd be out there on was it La Rambla, La Ramblas, and like the guys would come up and be like drugs, drugs, drugs. Like the three like the three drugs, but the green drugs, and then they would take you to a little door and they'd go down there and charge you a decent euro for good green bud, and it was good. Oh man, yeah, it's like legal in the little shops, but like literally The trick is they'd get you into the shop, and since you were a foreigner, you had to buy a card to be a membership to make it legal. You had to be a member of the club, so it's legal to buy the goods. So the trick is none of these clubs had frickin' signs on them in these little alleys, off of La Ramblas or whatever. La Rambla, I don't know what it's really called. Depends on what language you speak, maybe. But so they, so you say you wanted more. Say you couldn't find the club that you were in last night. You'd have to go to a new club and buy a new membership for like €30, and then you'd have to. It was the greatest scam ever. Yes, I did try the MJ in Cambodia. It was horrible. Like, I've not seen any MJ in Cambodia that's worth. I don't even, like, I usually, like, people, like, you'll be out partying with other, English people or Westerners, and they'll, like, oh, here, try this or whatever. And, it's not even worth it, man, because, like, no, I didn't try. I wouldn't try anything like that in a foreign country, man. I wouldn't. Like, that scares the crap out of me. Like, I don't want to be taken advantage of. Like, I barely drink I have drinks a lot when I'm overseas, but I rarely get out, where I don't know what's going on. Like, I keep it real because people will steal from you or bad things happen, man. I wanted to try some Happy Pizza in Cambodia, and I didn't even do that. I should have, but like I wasn't too impressed with the smokable stuff, so it was like maybe next time, one of those things. I always just like traveling around Western Europe. The 2 times I've got to travel around Western Europe, either start and finish. If you ever do it and you're into the MJ, start and finish in Amsterdam because like that's the way. Right, exactly. I yes, if like and like there's places on Koh Samui. I used to stay at the Happy Hippie Hostel, which it's still there on Koh Samui in Thailand, and the bar is like right next door to the hostel, so you could sit there and have whatever fun you want, and you literally could crawl to your bunk, and like that's the way I'll do it if I'm gonna have like if I'm gonna overindulge, especially in Thailand. I'm gonna be real close to home. Yeah, no, I don't blame you, man. Stick with the stuff that, yeah, because those definitely wouldn't come up in one of those. Uh, it's crazy how long MJ stays in your system. It's kind of unfortunate because it's like really important to people, and but like they don't want you to have it though, and then they can find it through your urine, which is insane. So, but anyways, beyond that, uh, Amsterdam was awesome. The space cake, like my favorite head shop or not head, what are they called? Coffee shop in Amsterdam. They had a giant sign, like old school sign that was huge, probably like 8 or 10 feet tall by like 4 or 5 feet wide, and they had to take it down because of the new restrictions that Amsterdam are putting on signs. They probably wanted to make it look more traditional, maybe, which I can understand that because it's a beautiful city. But right on, guys. I said I was going to do an hour, and I'm basically at 58 and a half minutes. So I don't have much more to say other than I'm ready for somewhere other, Thailand and Cambodia and Vietnam to open up. But as current situation lies, um, nobody's getting in there unless they have a really good reason for a while. I mean, I hope they start letting people in. I think they start letting people in with their families, so that's what matters. As long as the families can get back together, that's all that really matters to me. I don't, as a tourist, I'll take it as it comes. Obviously, what am I going to do? Throw a hissy fit if Thailand doesn't want to open their doors because of the clearly devastating effects of COVID? You know what I mean? I get it, and I think most people, at least online, do. I keep seeing like these angry English guys posting that it's not going to be open until 2022, and I just hope they're wrong because they totally are pulling that number out of thin air. So, anyways, I guess I just wanted to say, hey, thanks for watching my videos. If you guys do, and please like and subscribe if you guys aren't, and thanks for watching from the guys that are, because it really means a lot. It really helps when you have a little bit of positive reaction from what you're doing, and I'm definitely getting it. So once again, I'm going to try to keep them coming. I don't know what's going to happen with me here in the United States. I want to make more videos, but I don't want to be boring the crap and just making videos for no reason. So if I do post something from domestically here in the United States, I'll try to make it good. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. This has been Zach with Savage Traveling, wrapping up his first live stream, having a couple Dos Equis, and just talking about Thailand and the rest of the world. Everybody wants to get back to traveling, but only when it's really safe to do so. So, peace, guys. I'm out.